So let's hear Emmanuel, let's hear Aveji on the questions of quorum and the minority on the issue of the trial that is going on in the ambulance case, where they prefer to go to court with their colleague rather than go to parliament, and they will not lose their salary.
There is still no quorum. Suspend sitting of the House for a period of not more than 1 hour. Mr. Speaker, can you direct the clerk and table to conduct a head count?
They were recognized. No, we must correct that.
Honorable Chief Whip.
You were recognized. When you walked in, you were recognized. And when you walked in and you got up to speak, you were recognized. Let that go on the records. What is that?
I don't know the time you are using. My time is not up yet. I'm monitoring my time.
Mr. Speaker.
My time is not up to 10 minutes.
That the bell was rung. When the bell was rung, we all heard it. If you are telling this House or me that you are using your time,
Honorable Beji, I'm left with 2 minutes.
Standing order regulate the conduct of the House. If our own standing order says it, why? No.
Clerk at table.
Mr. Speaker.
Clerk at table.
Mr. Speaker, we are not asking you now.
Clerk at table.
Mr. Speaker, we are not asking you
please
to go.
Count the members.
Right. So practically, this is what has been happening. I've been observing, Sammy, that sometime in the afternoon. You should all be in the House, and you can't get 92 members. At the last time I followed the counting, they counted about 12 or 13 for the NPP, and they counted about 32 or 5 for the NDC. And so they suspended the House. But the question people are asking is, why? In America, we are trying to emulate the best of democracies. Trump has gone through trial. It didn't bring the work of state to a standstill. Biden's son, the same. Why is it that for Ato Forson, you have to stop work, go to court, and then come when you can't do anything?
Well, something, to be fair to us, you will recall that when this trial started, we did not boycott proceedings when the Honorable Ato Forson, our leader, is required to be in court. This latest decision came about as a result of the leaked tape, the now Jakba series of tapes, which are making blockbuster reviews. It's as if we are watching a Hollywood movie, action-packed. And it is clear in our mind, after listening to those audios, that this is a kangaroo process, that there is no credibility. These are trumped-up charges, and this whole Ato Forson, harassment must end. We thought that the judiciary would declare a mistrial, and this total charade, which has really become an embarrassment, an insipid disgrace to the judicial system of our country. We thought that this matter would just have been ended. And so it is out of the outrage that we all have, listening to those tapes and how the Attorney General sought to get one of the witnesses, Mr. Jakba, to falsely accuse the Honorable Ato Forson. Don't forget.
It's not true.
Don't forget that these are grave matters. These are grave matters to bear false witness. I mean, and we know the implications.
You can't allow this to
ride. It would destroy the Honorable Ato. We've all listened to the tape.
Yes.
We've all listened.
You cannot allow this to ride because it's not true.
We've all listened to the tape. What is not true? Every Ghanaian has listened to the tape. So it is as a result of that. But yes, something I agree with you that on the issue of quorum, we can do better. What we do is that after the proceeding, when we boycott, and remember that boycotts are parliamentary truths. In every democracy, boycotts, abstention.
But how is this
you know.
justified? That we are paying you with the taxpayers' money to sit in parliament to work for us.
So,
and you decided that your leader who was not the leader when the case started,
Yes.
and you decided to make him a leader after the case started,
yes.
that suddenly a judge says, I will not permit you, him to be absent for certain days. And you say, since the judge says you will not give that permission, we will also not go to parliament.
And after listening to, there's been a seismic development. We can't ignore that. That tape, we can't ignore the Japa tape. So we are convinced that this is some kangaroo process. And so we are registering protests. In a democracy,
You're going to court does not
boycotts,
change the evidence before the court.
we concede, but we must make a point. Boycotts are part of democratic tools. In the democratic tool basket, you can protest, you can go on demonstration, which we did this week on this NATO Hotels matter. You can boycott, you can write petitions, you can picket. You know, we have chosen boycotts. But after the proceedings, we go to the House. And on the issue of...
The proceedings end around 3, 4,
yeah.
sometimes a little late.
And we...
And that's the time we are closing.
Yeah, and there are times that our proceedings in Parliament can go up to even midnight. There are times we've even sat to the next day.
But
So-
by then, the speaker would have been told that there's no quorum, and then he'll ring the bell for, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Then after which they will find that there's no sufficient numbers, and they would have suspended the House
Good.
anyway.
So something. We have told the Ghanaian people and our people who elected us to Parliament, the citizens, why we are boycotting. I would like to hear from our colleagues why because they can make up the numbers to form a quorum. They are 137 plus 1, the independent candidate who has decided to work with them. You know, so 92, they really don't need us to form a quorum. And yet, the House is not able to form a quorum. They haven't told us that they are boycotting. I'm not aware of any issue that really prevents them from coming to the House. So you can't blame us for the lack of quorum, particularly when we have announced to the country why we have decided to embark on this protest. So really, we should be finding out from our colleagues who are not boycotting and yet will not come to the House. But ultimately, let it be said that we must...
Because of time. For how long are you going to continue with this?
We must as a
For
House...
as long as the case goes on, and the judge doesn't give him permission to stay away.
That is the caucus decision. But as a House, I think that Speaker and leadership, we should find a way, probably when we return from the boycotts.
Yes, let's get a Japanese view on this. And Kofi Bento, I fondly remember him here on this show, on this merchant bank for teas issue. He says, I was part of the resistance when Merchant Bank was being sold. Indeed, I and Tampuli, you know Tampuli, now a minister, and Egbert Fable sued SNIT. The principle then was that it was wrong, even if it was lawful. I stand by the same principle today and say that the sale of the SNIT hotels is wrong, even if allowed by law. Brian buying the hotels is wrong. It looks and feels wrong, and that matters. We must stop public officials and ministers from buying state assets. I will support a law that says no to political appointees that may purchase a state asset unless after 4 years from when they leave office. So he's supporting you, Sami.
Great.
Yes.
Great.
You see, this sensationalist way that my brother addresses issues sometimes.
We have just a minute.
It's unbelievable.
On the tape.
Have you
listened to the tape?
It's a series of tapes.
Yes.
How many tapes have you listened to?
There are 3 tapes. Samson is an expert on the tape.
There's one tape out there.
Yeah, there's only one tape out there. What is out is only one.
So the question is,
But
even if they are boycotting,
Yes, I agree.
You have
I don't
100
think that-
and what?
Yes, 138.
Okay.
Yes.
You still can't.
I don't think that
92.
we're doing the Ghanaian populace a lot of good. Me myself, I've been a corporate because of the nature of the work. Sometimes you get caught up in ministry and you're unable to. But when the whip calls, we all rush to go in.
Senior,
And so I
Senior
think
Samokujeto says
we should improve.
We should have no business having MPs as ministers, and that is the amendment we must ensure.
Well, I do not have any difficulty if we get to that point, and we amend our constitution to reflect that. Okay, but in all honesty, I think that we've not been doing ourselves both sides, because like you said, this so-called solidarity with their leader. It's neither here nor there. It should not preclude you from performing your services or the functions that the Ghanaian people have elected you to go and perform in the House of Parliament. The majority haven't done well either.
Maybe they should contribute money and hire the best of lawyers to do the work and support your leader to make a good case, isn't it?
We should make time to attend Parliament.
All right. Thank you very much. Dr. Shio Champong, some 30 seconds because our time is up. Very sorry.
No, quickly. I mean, the more these delays, the more it affects parliamentary work, and then bills and things that need to be passed would not be passed. So ultimately, we end up paying the price for the delays. Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Shio Champong. And my outfit, as always, these days is by Kunati Clothing.